Hello, everyone. This is Chuck DeRocco, Director of Research for Altus Group. Today, I just kind of wanted to walk you through some of the tools and features that we offer in Real Confidence. We're getting schools to sign up for the 2018 Real Confidence University Challenge. I know teams are starting to kind of assemble. So I think there's some features out there that can be very helpful in planning your investment strategy. I think some of you aren't aware that they're there. So I figured let's do just a quick recorded webinar, show you some of these tools and these features, and hopefully that gives you some better insight into making your picks for 2018. First place you got to stop, realconfidence.com. If you go up here to the tools section, click on that there. This is really where you kind of can get a lot of information. So I want to show you this I'm going to focus on this portfolio visualizer. I'll show you some of these other components very quickly, though. One thing we do have here is a tweet bar. So this is tweets from our partners and Altus Group as well. So that's the National Association of REITs, National Council of Real Estate Investment Fiduciaries. So NAREIT and NCREIF, here are all their tweets. Really some good information here. Data center REITs poised to continue strong performance. Well, hey, that's pretty good information. You might want to read that. A little bit about Airbnb and I'm sure its impact on hotels. Draw again all the tweets that are coming out from Altus, NAREIT, and NCREIF. Over here, we have this kind of content funnel. And these are articles, all external articles that have one impact or another on real estate. It could be economic, a little more in a broader sense. 10 must reads for the commercial real estate industry. List goes on and on and on. But again, great kind of background research across the board. And then we have the blog as well. And I'm going to get back to that in 2 seconds. Up here is kind of the three main components, one of which is a data center. We give you 10 years of historical data for all of these selections, if they have 10 years. Some of them do not actually have 10 years. They haven't been around that long. But you do have that historical data, so you'll be able to download that data, do the analysis, anything you wish to do with that information. Again, it's the ones that are linked to the selections that you'll have to select for your portfolio. And again, you will need a password for this selection, but you'll get that once the student is registered. You'll get access to a password. So that's one aspect. Not going to focus on that. The other is the attribution analysis. This is an Altus Group tool. The attribution analysis is good while you're actually in the competition, so you can look at your portfolio. You can see your larger contributors, how they've done, whether the weights were correct, things of that nature, and you can compare that to other portfolios. So some of your competing teams, you'll be able to look at how their stuff did as well, and it'll actually show well what was an underperformer. I'm not going to get into attribution in detail. We actually did a webinar before with one of our specialists at Altus Group who talked about attribution analysis here. So if you look in the blog, you're going to see some different kind of comments. One, again, is this attribution analysis, so you can gain your knowledge on that. These real confidence quarterly quarterbacks are good as well. This is where we talk to different executives in the industry, and we basically ask them, our focus here is on 2017. And, what do you feel about these different sectors and such? But they really do give a lot of insight about things moving forward and trends within the industry. So I don't think it hurts to click on that and hear some insight from some of the executives in the industry. My focus today is going to be the portfolio visualizer, though. I think this is just a fantastic tool across the board. And I'm going to try to go through these fairly quick and just give you kind of a quick rundown on how these can be used. First, we'll start off with the simplest. It's asset correlations. It starts off right by the category. So remember, there's quadrants. It's public equity, private equity, public debt, private debt. So here's your 4 quadrants of information and their correlations to one another. Then you can actually click on subcategory and get a better look here. And this is all of them, all on the one platform. So you can kind of get a quick snap of what is correlated to one another across the board. A few notes just to add here, and I probably saw this in an email. You've probably seen it in an email, is that we're adding 2 sectors to the private equity side. We're adding self-storage and senior living. So there'll be 2 more. I'm going to add that data. All the data now is updated through the second quarter of 2017 as we're waiting for the final data from some of the benchmarks for third quarter 2017. Once I have that data will be uploaded, and as well as that historical data, as much as we have it, for the new sectors that will be added for private equity. We're also doing the same thing for public equity. We're adding 2 new sectors here. It's going to be data centers and specialty. Again, same thing as I stated before. We'll have the data in there probably in early November. Remember, the portfolio deadline for your team is until December 15th. You have to have a team together, by December 1st. You have to have a faculty member register, before that. So again, it's kind of the process. Faculty, then you get the team together, choose one captain, and then you get the portfolio. And by December 15th, you can have the opportunity to win $50,000 for your university. Let's look at some of these other components then real quick. So that's correlation. It's pretty simple across the board. The next one, which is I really like a lot, is this backtest portfolio feature. So here again, here's the 10 years data. You can select whatever time frame you want to use. You can adjust the initial amount of the investment. And here you select the asset classes. And this is down to the lowest level, because that's really how you're going to allocate down to this value board. So when you look at this, you're going to select, let's just select a couple or one from each one at least. So let's do Giliberto Levi. That's our private equity. That's our private debt. And then go down here to private equity. Let's use retail. And public equity, let's click on residential. So there's your 4 sectors. Over here, you have an option of whether you want to equal weight or you want to actually select your own weight here. And you can actually pick however you would want these weighted. So let's do 40% here. Let's do 10% here. Do 25 on the private equity side and 25 on the public equity side. It has to equal 100 to continue. You go down here and hit the analyze portfolio, and this is just really fantastic, the amount of information it gives you. So here is the equal weighted portfolio, the first one we did. Here's our selected portfolio, our second. And when you look at these 2 asset classes, so this is portfolio 1, this is portfolio 2. Portfolio 1 and the equal weight, actually it was a better performer overall based on this time frame that we selected. It gives you, again, a bunch of different information. Inflation adjusted returns here. Again, final balance was pretty simple. Gives you standard deviation, again, over that time frame. Your best year, your worst year, the biggest drawdown you had, and then you can see here it actually gives you the dates of what the biggest drawdown of your portfolio was. It gives you the Sharpe ratio, which is another risk ratio to look at, and the Sortino ratio, which is a volatility ratio to look at as well. So again, just fantastic amount of information across the board. Graphs it out for you here, your portfolios, and how you would have done better with portfolio 1 than portfolio 2 based on this time frame that we're looking at. Down here, you get these annual returns. And here you can get really a breakdown of all that information in even more detail. So annual returns, quarterly returns, rolling returns, anything you want. To add another component, it's really pretty simple. You can just select another option. Here, let's add industrial, public equity, industrial. Now here it's a little bit, this one's easy because you can go here and do equal weight and it adjusts it for you here. You have to make the adjustment. So let's just hit 20 here and we'll just give this 5. And then here you can analyze the portfolio. Again, does the calculations for you and gives you the analysis of that across the board with this new adjustment in it here. And that actually made the portfolios a little bit tighter, as you can tell. But portfolio 1 is still the dominant of them. So great feature. I think you have to use it. I think you have to run some different scenarios as you're kind of playing with things to try to figure out what your investment strategies are going to be. Another feature is Efficient Frontier. Again, you can do by category. Let's look at subcategory. We're going to select some from each one. So we'll go with some public debt, some private debt. We'll take in, let's go with hotels on private equity. And let's throw in, let's go healthcare and public equity. And we hit the view here. So this is going to calculate an efficient frontier for us across the board. So it gives you your returns, your deviation based on these asset selections, and then your Sharpe ratio again on the risk side. Throws it all out on this efficient frontier. So here you have your standard deviation and your expected return. So how much risk do you want to take for your possibility of return based on, this, again, this time frame that we used, and then draws this efficient frontier out, does all the points along the efficient frontier to find what you're looking at. So public equity is out here a bit. Private equity kind of falls within the center. And this is the CMBS, and here is your least risk side. Well, no, this is actually, I guess, yes, this is your least risk. Sorry, side. This is your least return side here on the CMBS AAA. So it gives you kind of a great snapshot of that. Again, these things can be adjusted. You can add other features here. You can download all these, or you can select all these data points across the board to see kind of how things flow and then the change. So again, just another great feature across the board. That's really what I wanted to show you. I think that just really needs to be seen. I think it's unfortunately maybe a little bit buried here, and not enough people have kind of clicked around to find it. So I thought it was important to show you that again as you're getting your teams together and your investment strategies. I'm happy to answer any questions. Feel free to contact me. Again, it's Chuck Duracco, Director of Research with Altus Group, and I'll answer anything you have in this selection. And we hope that you obviously get a team put together for 2018. Contact your faculty advisor if you're interested in putting some together and you haven't been registered yet. And if you are registered, then great. Please use these tools, and we wish you the best of luck in 2018. And we hope we give you a check there at the end for the amount that you won. So again, thank you very much.